All right, Brooke, thank you. A Hollywood park is shut down this morning after police say at least six high school students bought drugs there, and one teen remains in the hospital following a drug overdose that took the life of her friend. And police say the teens bought what they thought was Percocet at Lexington Park near Bernstein High School, but detectives believe the pills were laced with fentanyl. It's a horrifying trend that we're seeing all over the country, but it's impacting many lives right here locally. And I want to bring in Dr. Berman this morning. She's a psychologist, but she also has a personal connection to this story. Her son died last year after taking a Xanax laced with fentanyl. He bought it from a drug dealer on Snapchat. Now, Dr. Laura, I am so sorry for your loss. And I'm grateful, though, for you to be joining us this morning to talk about it. Speak firsthand as to what the parents of these students must be feeling right now in Hollywood, and just the anger and the disbelief surrounding this whole ordeal.
Yeah, I didn't even really know what fentanyl was when this happened to Sammy, and it's impossible to describe. There's it's the worst possible thing that can ever happen to a parent. It's our greatest fear from the time they're born. And it's impossible to process. And, for those who have lost their children, it's a lifelong process to heal from that. But something as tragic as this that could be prevented is even more devastating.
And Dr. Berman, talk about the fact that we tell our kids all the time to be careful, and as parents, you're doing everything you can to protect them and to make sure that they are learning those lessons. But what can be done? This is such an epidemic that we're seeing across the country. How can we keep our kids safe?
Well, I think we have to get clear on what's happening. This is not an overdose. People keep talking, and I heard you guys referring to it as an overdose. It is not an overdose. It is poisoning. These kids did not intend to take something with fentanyl. They were not wanting to take something with fentanyl. Neither was Sammy. Fentanyl is 3 times as addictive as heroin, 30 times more powerful than morphine. It just takes a few little grains of sand of it to kill you, and they are putting it in absolutely everything that is in the street. Fentanyl is killing 300 people a day. That's as many as could fill a commercial jet. If a commercial jet were falling from the sky every day, we would be talking about it a million times a day. And these kids aren't meeting the dealers in the park. The dealers aren't just skulking around looking for kids out in dark corners. The kids are connecting with the dealers, or in fact, the dealers are reaching out to the kids. And this is what happened to Sammy via Snapchat. And Snapchat is an accessory to this and isn't doing enough to stop it or to let parents protect our children. And these kids are digital natives, and they can run circles around us. So this really starts at the social media level as well as the education level to help kids understand that this, and use my son in stories like this as a teachable moment, that, good kids make bad decisions and want to experiment, but you cannot experiment with anything on the street and think you're going to live through it.
Even as a mother of a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, what if my child picks up a pill at the park, and puts it in their mouth? It could happen in an instant, as you mentioned, and not purposefully, as you said. It's not an overdose. It is a poisoning. So given the fact that in this case it happened around a school and a lot of the students from the same school as well, I wonder if you think schools should be doing more to address this issue. We heard from the superintendent saying that the full weight of the LAUSD is going to get behind this and try to find out who is selling drugs at that local park. But clearly, what can be done on campuses perhaps, or should Narcan be readily available for kids?
Narcan is a lifesaver, and I have it on hand always now. I didn't even know what it was before Sammy died. I think schools, infirmaries, camps, after-school programs, anyone should have Narcan on them. It is a lifesaver, and you can't harm the person by using it on them. And it can help reverse the death effect of it's basically an opioid overdose. That's what fentanyl is an extremely potent, powerful opioid. And the reason the dealers put it in everything is because it's three times as addictive as heroin. So it makes a really good customer, and it makes addicts out of our children. I mean, this really is a weapon of mass destruction. It is killing 300 people a day. And we have to be screaming from the rooftops about this. And we have to be holding Snapchat and the rest of social media accountable with new legislation. And they're not going to do it on their own. They don't care about their users. They just care about how many users they have. And we've tried excessively to talk to them and to reason with them, and they are not willing to let us put the mechanisms in place so we can stop drug dealers from reaching out to our children, or our children from reaching out to drug dealers in some cases.
Absolutely. Dr. Laura Berman, thank you so much for sharing your story, your passion, and for continuing the important work of getting that message out and keeping our kids safe. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
A really important